many, many times on this show, as you well know, I have said that I believe, as we look back at what happened at Tennessee, that Jeff Fisher, your coach at Tennessee, was never on board with drafting you in Tennessee. That was all about Floyd Reese, who said the day after he drafted you that you will rewrite the position of quarterback. And I've contended that Jeff Fisher was never really in your corner in Tennessee, as you did, as I just pointed out, as you did win Offensive Rookie of the Year with 4 sensational late-game comebacks. You did make 2 Pro Bowls. You were the comeback player of the year. I do believe you did save Jeff Fisher's job. And yet, I thought you did it again and again in spite of a Jeff Fisher who was never really in your corner. How accurate was my assessment?
I mean, I really feel like my time in Tennessee was great. Other than I just really feel like me and Fisher wasn't on the same page as chemistry-wise and communication.
Why?
That's what I did. I can't really go into speculation why these things are happening. All I know is you know, my job was to be a quarterback and lead the team and change it from a 4-12 team until we got it to where we needed to be at. And you know, I blame myself some of the time that
Sure.
you know I stepping on coach toes and things like that, and not listening to my coach and listening to the details of what he was trying to tell me in order to be, you know, professionalism and how to be an NFL quarterback. And, you know, there was a lot of things going on in my life. Definitely was immature, young guy, and things like that. But I really feel like what he was trying to do, he was just trying to get me to understand the business of the NFL. So, but sometimes I took it in frustration because not knowing some of these different things as a young man. But I just really felt like I didn't feel like he was on my side. But he really was on my side. He was just trying to explain to me how to be a professional quarterback.
Go ahead, Stephen A.
Well, Vince, I want to know, you know, I'm not trying to get all in your business, but there's so much has been thrown out there about what was going on with you, what problems you had, what level of, what immature things you were confronted by or having to deal with or whatever. Explain to us the kind of things that was bothering you, that was affecting you, or your relationship with Fisher, in your own words, whatever it was.
Like I said, that's just a communication part, and I feel like when we had meetings and you say one thing and then all of a sudden the media is saying another thing, and I just feel like we just talked about this in the office behind closed doors. What I really feel like as a quarterback and his coaches needed to talk to move forward for the best interest of the team and organization. You know, for instance, like the Pittsburgh, you know, for him benching me that game. A lot of people was like, he was late to a meeting. But the reason why I was late to the meeting, because it was to take Steve McNair boys to school one morning. It was fathers take kids to school that morning. And he said it was okay for me to do it, which he already knew that I was going to be late for a team meeting, but not offensive meetings and things like that. So, and then when I got to after practice and I hear the media bashing me on my head, I was all in confused. So. And that's why I was just saying about the communication part. If we're going to talk about one thing in the meeting room, then I really feel like we should stay with that and not let everybody on the outside know what's going on in the meeting room.
Okay, let's talk about that fateful day and following night. Opening day, 08, Jacksonville at home. You throw 2 picks. You get frustrated. You get upset. The fans are booing you. It was new to you. You'd had a great run through high school and college in your rookie year. And there were reports that you didn't want to go back into the game, that Jeff Fisher was pushing you to go back into the game. What's the truth in your eyes?
And the truth is, it was a TV timeout, and I was taking my time to collect my thoughts to get back out there to perform. As a quarterback, you don't want to go up into the next series worrying about the last series. And Coach Fisher understood that. My guys understood that. It wasn't really about the boos or none of them different things. And it was a TV timeout. I was just taking my time to collect myself before I stepped back into the field. And that's pretty much what we had that understanding, me and Coach Fisher, which he knew, and he was just talking to me on the sideline, making sure I was
So he was
ready.
okay that you would miss a series to gather yourself?
No, it wasn't to miss a series, just doing that TV timeout.
Okay.
So that was basically.
Okay, but you did go back in the game.
Went back in and got hurt.
And you got hurt. Do you think
Exactly.
you got hurt because you weren't into the game at that point psychologically?
No, I mean, NFL is a physical game. So, I mean, he landed on my leg a pretty awkward way, and that's pretty much what happened.
Okay. Following night, You drop out of sight for a little while without your cell phone. Coach Fisher talks to, I believe, your mom or somebody in your immediate family, and he gets a little concerned to the point he calls the police to go look for Vince Young. What happened?
I mean, I don't know. My whole thing is, you know, my mom saw me leaving with my pistol, in which I have a gun license to carry, so I always carry my gun with me. So, but the whole thing is, I can understand the concerns, but the whole thing is, I was
that they had suicide concerns, right?
I mean, you can probably say that, but that wasn't really what it was. I was just trying to get away from everybody who was coming over concerned and caring about Vince, which I really do care about and appreciate. But I was actually watching the Green Bay Vikings game, watching the football game, eating chicken wings, and that's when I got a call, like, everybody's really concerned. You need to come up to the stadium so we can make sure you're okay. So when all these things came out, that's when I was, like, just totally frustrated about the situation, because it wasn't ever nothing about no suicide. I just wanted to get out the house and kind of get, you know, relax and get away from everybody and things like that.
Vince, forgive me, let's get down to the nitty-gritty here, because you're sitting next to a man that I would label as your biggest supporter, meaning Skip Bayless.
Right.
Me personally, I think you can ball, and I don't think anybody can argue with your record. But I think all of us are fooling ourselves here if we're of the mindset that playing the quarterback position in the NFL is strictly about your skill set. When Skip brings up the incidences that he brings up, I don't need all of that. All I need to know is, okay, this stuff keeps getting mentioned, and somehow, some way, Vince Young's name gets associated with it. And as a result, people look at him and they say, yeah, he's got the skill set. But we question his leadership, his mental and intestinal resolve, and his ability to be a leader of men and guide this football team to another level. That's basically the knock on Vince Young.
Right.
So what do you have to say to critics who question that about you and use it as justification right here, right now, today, as a reason as to why you're not high on anybody's priority list to be a quarterback for their team?
You know, my whole thing is, I just want people to put those things in the past and give me another opportunity to prove that. Yes, I have my ups and downs, but I definitely learned from my mistakes, the immatureness that I had, and I just want everybody to know that that's in the past. I'm married now. I have a family. I understand my responsibilities now. I'm in school trying to graduate, get my education major. I'm just trying to put the things out there who Vince Young is and try to change that perception who people have thoughts about, and that's not who I am. You know, that happened in the past, and I just want everybody just to understand that was a young, immature Vince Young, and he definitely understands from being around the Andy Reids, just being around multiple people that I have been in, influenced in, a lot of people at my UT school, just a lot of people that's been in my corner to help me get back to where I need to be at. And then the year off definitely helped me open up my eyes of being around my family and just seeing a lot of things that I didn't see while I was out there working hard and playing football.
For the record, I'm sorry, Carrie.
Let me say, Vince, it sounds like you're focused on moving forward. Can you talk to us about this letter of apology you sent to Jeff Fisher? Is that a part of this maturation process for you?
That's where I was going, yeah.
Right. I mean, you know, because a lot of understanding is that, you know, Coach Fisher put out a lot of different things about the old Vince, which he's true about. And I don't hold that against him at all, because that was an immature Vince Young, things like that. But my whole thing is that he could never say that I wasn't a hard worker, was leading a team, doing all these type of things that they said I'm not doing. And that's what it kills me when I'm out here working extremely hard every year, every summertime, and don't get the opportunity to shot like most guys has had in the previous years. So I just want a lot of people to understand that, you know, I have been through a lot in my life, in my 29 years, and I have owned up to it. You know, I made my mistakes, but I just really feel like people can just get past that and let me finish my career like I wanted to be and be a great asset for a football team.